we've reversed the top 8 from yesterday's race to set the grid for the sprint race here today, and the drivers are almost ready on the grid down below. In the commentary box for the big race today, I'm Alex Jakes, and joining me once again, it's Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as well as being the 2012 GP2 champion, you also have experience as a test driver in F1. What would you say are the biggest differences for people fresh to the world of F2?
Well, Alex, I think it's an exciting time in Formula 2 right now. For spectators, a lot of excitement comes from all the drivers being in the same car. That puts the emphasis on driver skills, meaning lots of overtakes, which means exciting race for us.
Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 14 of the F2 2019 Mick Schumacher career mode, where today we're here, back for the British GP sprint race. And obviously if you guys missed out on the video that went live fairly late yesterday, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But coming though into the second race of the weekend, we do start P8 after taking the feature race victory. Obviously that race got very close towards the end. I wasn't quite expecting it to in the race yesterday, but yeah, coming on into the second race of the weekend, Nick de Vries, the only man ahead of us now in the title fight, just 9 points clear of us as we head into round 14. The aim today and over the next few weekends is just trying to outscore him consistently and hopefully, fingers crossed, build up a little bit of a title advantage. But obviously, if you guys are well aware of Formula 2, you will know it is not as easy as that. But yeah, back for round 14 though, I just want to jump straight into it here for the British Grand Prix sprint race. The 5 lights are coming on now here in Silverstone, and it's lights out and away we go. There, can we get off to a fairly clean getaway? A little bit of wheel spin there. We're going to get swamped by a couple of cars as we head down in towards turn 1. Buckle actually squeezes himself out over the apex on the inside there. Not too sure what that was all about. Going for a bit of a send on Sete camera. A bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. The hand of rage goes up. A huge amount of wheel spin on the exit of the corner there, and yeah, a little bit aggressive on Sete camera, but the AI can be horrible through turn 3 there. If you don't get fully alongside them, they just completely slam the door shut. They very much commit to their apex very early on there. As Nick de Vries, like I said, main title rival, he's also lost a place off the start here. He's down to P8, so obviously he'll get a point for that though. We will not, so we're going to try and have to look past him as best as possible here. But obviously Silverstone, the AI aren't the strongest there. We're just talking about that. We get a good run actually at the inside of Nick de Vries here as we head over the old start finish line here. Could we potentially have a look down in towards old turn 1? Surely there's not going to be much he can do to defend. Running a little bit wide, a bit of a wobble, but we do keep it pointing in the right direction this time around. But yeah, like I was saying though, the AI, they aren't the strongest at Silverstone. So hopefully, you know, we should be able to make some progress in this race. But obviously there are some very quick drivers just in front of us as well in this race. Obviously Jack Aitken, who actually won the real-life British Grand Prix sprint race, currently up in P2. They're just behind, obviously, Antoine Hubert. As well as we head down in towards the final few corners of lap 1, closing up to Matsushita. But yeah, we definitely want to be watching out for Nick de Vries behind us, as well as, I think it's actually my teammate now, Sean Galale, up into P2 of the race, and he's really had a bit of a resurgence of form in the last few GPs. Obviously picking up a lot of points from the sprint races, but he's obviously getting himself in the points in the feature races to allow himself, so he's definitely picking up some good points at the moment. It's through turn 1 and turn 2. Obviously the AI still struggling a bit through there, and we're going to open up the move up the inside of Matsushita here, but we've got to try and make sure the AI loses as little time as possible in these battles, obviously to stop Nick de Vries being able to gain as well there. But yeah, up into P7 then, we have made some progress in this race, and next up is Jordan King coming down in towards Maggots and Beckett's here, and the AI seem to be struggling a bit through here on the hard compound tyres. You can just see how much we're gaining on the way through there. Can we get on the power nice and early? Obviously no DRS in effect just yet here, and yeah, we're all over the back of Jordan King as we head down the straightaway here. We might be close enough to go for a bit of a lunge. Oh my, we're going to have to go for the lunge accidentally. Jordan King braking a bit earlier than I was expecting. He does get the switchback move on us, but yeah, that was a little bit close for comfort. We'll brake a bit early in towards the final couple of corners. King goes defensive again. sure what that's all about. And we'll try to get the run off the exit. A little bit of wheel spin there. The AI really do find the grip through that final corner. The fastest lap of the Grand Prix as well there. DRS has now been enabled. Jordan King running so slowly through turn 1 and turn 2 there. We have a look, do with the same sort of move that we did to Matsushita. And yes, we're now up. Oi! I was almost spoke too soon there. Jordan King's going to have a look on the exit, but we are now up into P6 of the race here. So it's been a fairly successful start, obviously, but you know, we need to outscore Nick de Vries as best as possible here. I'd love to try and take home, you know, a double race victory there, and I think that's not out of the, you know, it's not out of the realms of possibility. Already up into P6, we've got, you know, a good few laps ahead of us here as well. It's not impossible, but we will wait and see. I can't remember if we managed to achieve it before in this series. I think we might have done. Back at France, we took a double race victory. I can't remember for sure. I don't think any of the AI have, though. Yellow flags out in the final sector of the lap. Who is retiring from this race, or who's got issues? It's only Latifi. So Dams, again, losing out even more points in this title fight. Was it, you know, it was Latifi that retired yesterday. So that's been a horrendous weekend for Nicholas Latifi in terms of the championship. Obviously, I'm in the points. De Vries is in the points. I don't think Sete Camera is anywhere near it. And obviously, Latifi was trying to get himself towards the title fight again. And it's weekends like that that are really costing him at the moment, as well as obviously the team, because, well, look at Prema. We're up in P2 and P6 at the moment, so we're going to take even more points out of them. If I'm not mistaken, Sete Camera is still in 9th, so he's not going to be scoring anything. It really is falling away from Dams at the moment, but obviously we need to try and keep consistent in terms of both title fights. Haven't been able to make much progress on Giotto at the moment. Everyone's just stuck in this DRS train. We've only got a few more laps to go here, so we definitely want to try and get anything that we can out of these guys as we head through the old turn 1 there, really opening up the run as best as possible here. But yeah, Hubert still leads the way ahead of my teammate here. You know, if we can get on the podium with him, that could be alright. You know, double Prema podium to finish off a good weekend. But obviously we're going in for the victory nonetheless here as we head out onto the back straightaway. You can see all over the back now once again of Giotto. We just lose a little bit in the dirty air here. Matsushita is way back, but we've accidentally had to go for the lunge on Giotto, but we've pulled it off somehow. Similar sort of move to what we had to make on Jack Aitken yesterday, where we weren't really planning on doing it, but it ends up working for us. And we're now finally up into P5 of this race as we head through the final couple of corners. Next up, well, another fastest lap as well. Next up on the old hit list, though, Louis Delatraz, which is not a name we've said much this series, I don't think. But hopefully it won't be a name we're saying for very long. As we head through turn 1, or turn 3 even, I should say. Can we potentially open up a bit of a run out onto the back straight? Avoid the curb on the outside, well that is just going to send you straight across the circuit. And yeah, the tyres are still absolutely fine, everything like that. We don't have to worry about that this weekend. Purple first sector. Another fraction up on my previous best. Shows the consistency we've got around this place, despite the tyre wear. Can we potentially get a bit of a switch back? Oh, a little bit of wheel spin. Couldn't quite open up and move this time round. Slow in, fast out as we head out onto the hangar straight. Can we potentially open up a move on Delatraz? Could we go for the same sort of thing that we did to Giotto last lap? We're going to try it. It's not normally an overtaking place at the end of the hangar straight. Obviously you've got the famous one of the two Williams going side by side, but we've made it work. We're up into P4. We've got 3 laps to go. 3 overtakes still left to be made. Hubert still leads the way. Galea, my teammate, second. Aitken, obviously the homeboy, in P3 here. And yeah, we're still setting some really good consistent times as we head through turn 1. Look at the run we've got on Aitken. Surely nothing he's going to be able to do there. Actually dip a wheel out towards the grass as we head through turn 2 and turn 3. But we're up into P3. That's another overtake made. And next up, yeah, is my teammate Galeo. I think, to be honest, Hubert's probably had the pace all day over Galeo. He's just been able to hang on in the DRS. I've never really actually seen Galeo go for anything in this race on Hubert here, but they're working together quite nicely at the moment. It's not allowing us to quite get an opportunity that we really, really do want to find in this race as we head through the old turn 1. We've got Jack Aitken still just behind us. I'm sure he's ready to pick up the pieces if he can. As we head in towards Maggots and Beckett's for the penultimate time in this race. Can we potentially open up a bit of a move on my teammate? Get closer and closer, but pretty even on the power in the end. And obviously he's going to have the DRS on Hubert here. He needs to try and get a move done on Hubert unless he wants me going for him in just a moment. He gets so close towards the end of the straight. Big lockup though from Hubert. That could open up a move for Galeo here. He's all over the back of him as we head down in towards the final couple of corners, but I think he holds on for yet another lap here. Another lockup coming in from someone, not too sure which car that was. As we head out onto the final lap of this race here, really trying to push the car to the limits here. As down towards turn 1, the AI always a bit weak through here. Can we open a move up on my teammate Galeo? We're going to have to go for it. All or nothing, up the inside we go. Those points could prove vital at the end of the title fight, so we're going to have to do it. And we're now up into P2 of the race here. Less than a lap to go. Could we potentially open up a move on Hubert as well here? We've really got to try and go. It's that horrible gamble of, you know, if we gain it, then we get the points. If we don't, then we can lose absolutely all the progress we've made throughout the entirety of this GP. So we'll wait and see if an opportunity opens up through the old final corner here, trying to get the power down. The old start-finish straight. Can Hubert hold on? I don't think he's taken him a race victory this season. He's been very unlucky in terms of leading the races, and then it not quite working out for him in the end. And I mean, could we potentially be stopping that once again here in this championship through Maggots and Beckett's one final time? We're getting a little bit closer, but we just need to try and open up a bit of a run here. Slow in, fast out, early on the power, a bit of wobble and a lot of wheel spin as we head out onto the hangar straight for one final time here. We're going to have a look to the outside as we head down. He's going to give us a bit of a squeeze here. Who is going to be able to come out on top? Round the outside we go. Hubert's going to keep the nose in. Horrendous understeer in towards the final couple of corners, though he hasn't quite got the drive. We're going to be on the inside. Hubert late on the brakes. A little bit of contact between the pair of us here. Hubert parks it on the exit, but I think we're not going to be able to get the power down as early as we'd like. Still, a huge tank slapper at the final corner, and Hubert holds on, and it's P2 in the end. That is one of the closest finishes to a race I think we've had so far.
So another fantastic victory for Arden today. And Davide Valsecchi, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
I think this race was won thanks to the tire management. You have to remember, it's not just about going as fast as you can. It's about consistency. It's about maintaining your speed over an entire race distance. So being able to keep the lap time competitive while still respecting the tires, that's where they won today.
As they make their way down to the podium, there's no denying the strength of the Arden team. Arden aren't afraid to take risks on new talent, and it certainly looks like it paid off today. Fantastic work. And now, let's take a look at the driver's standings. Mick Schumacher takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
My driver of the day is Mick Schumacher. With this team, Prima Power Team, they made the difference on the race strategy. Fantastic.
On to the teams then. Prema moved to the top of the table. Meanwhile, Arden's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. That's the end of today's race. Thank you for joining us, and I'm sure you'll agree it was a great race and sets us up nicely for the next installment in a few weeks' time. Take care. From Davide and I, it's goodbye.
Well, Alex telling us there exactly what we want to hear. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite the race victory in the end, but Hubert takes home, I'm sure, what will be very much a fan favourite race victory at the end of the day there. The top 5 separated by 0.8 of a second at the line there. That was just how close it got right at the end. But obviously with the fastest lap, we only lose that 1 point to Hubert there, so I guess we can take that. And a double podium for Arden, for Prime Even, I should say, means that, like Alex said, we have now taken the lead in both of the titles there. Jack Aitken in 4th. I bet he's a little bit gutted not to quite get the podium at his home Grand Prix. They're ahead of Delatraz, Giotto, Nick de Vries, and Matsushita, even though I should say rounds out the point scorers there. Sete Camera just missing out in the end ahead of Bocalacci, Lacey, Correa, Eilot, Bolshan, Mayspin, Ragnathan, Joe Calderon, Jordan King, and then Latifi, the only man to retire this weekend, and he goes out in both races there. Really going to put a big dent in his title fight there, considering the amount of points we've been able to score this weekend there. I mean, we've only dropped, what's it, 2-3 points over the course of this whole weekend there. Obviously, we picked up both fastest laps. Yeah, we lost out 7 points in the end. Obviously, I forgot about the qualifying bonus there. And they were the only points that Sete Camera scored all weekend there, which really does go show the damage that it's done. I mean, we scored more than double anyone else there. Nick de Vries, second highest scorer there, ahead of Giotto, Hubert, and my teammate Galeel there. And this is what I'm talking about in terms of Galeel. Obviously, he's scoring good points at the moment, mainly from those sprint races. But, you know, the points add up at the end of the day there. But in terms then of the Drivers' Championship, we are now on top, 3 points clear of Nick de Vries there. Luca Giotto, like I said, the consistency man, up into P4 ahead of into P3, even ahead of Sete Camera there. Hubert moves up into 5th ahead of Jordan King and Delatraz there. And Latifi, I said he was in the title fight. He's now down right into the mid-pack here ahead of Jack Aitken and Sean Galeel there. Matsushita jumps past Joe as well up into 11th there. And I think we've got Callum Eilot as well. Ragnathan back down to the rear of the field in the Drivers' Championship. In terms of the teams, though, 1 point between ourselves and Dan's now in the title fight. That is looking incredibly tasty. 2 points separate Virtuosi and ART there, and the same can be said for BWT Arden and MP Motorsport as well. They really know there's a lot of title fights going on as we head in towards the latter stages of this championship. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video once again, though. Do get yourself subscribed if you're new around here and you do want to see more of the F2 2019 career mode. And we will be back next time out, I think, for the Hungarian Grand Prix.